Welcome back to Undying Love, a Target 3 special reports.
When I came back to Vernon, people were making happy noises about my having gotten married and what was going on. I didn't want to talk about it.
Finally, Peggy got word that Billy had arrived safely overseas, and she could tell Billy's parents the truth. She went back to work at Alsace Army Airfield, eagerly awaiting the letters Billy sent, first from England, then France.
Late June or early July, and taking instruments out of the dashboards. I had to take instruments out of a crashed plane, and there was blood on the dashboard and on the instruments. And it just, I couldn't take it. So I went in and just told them that I had worked quite a while and I was tired and I was going to take a break.
She wrote to a friend who was living in Boulder, Colorado, who had invited Peggy for an extended visit.
But I told her, my friend, that I had had a dream, and I told her what the rooms looked like and I said, I was told something and I went all to pieces, but I knew it was wrong. She wrote to me and said, we have rented the place of your dreams. The doors open the way you saw it in your dreams. You have to come. So I went, and sure enough, I got a telegram delivered to me there that said Billy was missing July 7th. And I went through the doorways just as a dream and went all to pieces. But soon after sobbing, I realized I had letters dated the 8th of July. That could not be true.
In fact, Billy's letter, dated July 8, 1944, said he had been assigned a place on a returning troop ship. Since he'd flown more than 100 missions, he was eligible for 30 days leave. But, his letter said, he lost his spot on the ship because wounded troops had taken priority.
I went to the telegraph office and told them so, and showed them my letter. I had the letter with me. They said they would investigate. Later they came back and said they regretted that they had made a mistake. It had to be a 1/7, July 17.
So Billy was missing, or was he? 2 or 3 months later, Billy's parents and Peggy received press releases from Supreme Allied Headquarters. Billy's family was to distribute the releases to local newspapers.
That detailed Billy's history, his medals, and said he was back in the States. So we waited. Nothing happened. I went to the Red Cross here in Vernon, and they said, oh, with that kind of a report, he's in the States. He's in a hospital getting checked out. He's somewhere. Don't worry about it.
Peggy went back to the Red Cross. She asked her congressman for help. She waited and held out hope. In the spring of 1945, Billy's parents heard from one of Billy's longtime friends. The friend said he had seen Billy in California.
So Mr. Harris quit his job and went out there, and they searched everywhere they could. Well, eventually, I get a report from my congressman that says the International Red Cross sent a letter to Berlin. Berlin placed a stamp, killed in action, and returned that page. At the time, they were doing everything they could to demoralize people of our country because they were nearing the end of the war and they were doing anything and everything they could. So we didn't have any details whatsoever, and we just thought they had lied.
Peggy was heartsick at the thought that Billy might actually be wounded, alone in some lonely hospital room. She remembered something Billy had told her after he'd seen those wounded comrades in Florida.
Billy saying that if he was horribly burned or maimed as a person in the hospital, he would not want his family to know he was alive. Of course, that came back to haunt me. And I wrote Washington and asked permission to go through hospitals on my own. And they wrote back and said that if they allowed every person with someone missing to do this, it would disrupt their care, and that they could not allow it.
And so she waited, hoped, prayed, all the while refusing to give up on the young pilot who'd captured her heart.
Next on Undying Love.
Well, I just went ahead and lived life. I kept dreaming that we would see each other in black and white, and there would be a hangar or a field, and he would be coming toward it, or I'd be going toward him. And I thought someday that'll happen.